Mr. Vice President, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, as many previous speakers stated, this session is taking place at a time when the number of wars, conflicts and disputes is continuously growing. While this is the first and foremost perceived as a security issue, the grave human rights violations and humanitarian crisis are an immediate consequence of this disturbing trend. These days, we are marking 2 years since the beginning of the Russians' ruthless war of aggression against Ukraine. This is very much felt in Moldova. 2 years of fierce fighting on the Ukrainian soil, tens of thousands of lost lives, both military and civilian, massive destruction of infrastructure, seriously damaged environment and cultural heritage. The scars caused by the human rights violations, war crimes and atrocities committed against Ukrainian population will not be healed for many years ahead. The Republic of Moldova has been showing its solidarity with Ukraine from day one, sheltering thousands of refugees, mostly women and children, providing humanitarian aid, helping with the transit of goods. With the help of UNHCR and many other organizations and states, we continue to host more than 115,000 Ukrainians seeking refuge. A year ago, we launched a temporary protection mechanism which covers today over 36,000 Ukrainians. As this devastating war has entered its third year, we believe that all the efforts by the international community should be focused on helping Ukraine to continue withstanding the aggression, taking actions to discourage Russia from continuing this war, and searching for a sustainable and comprehensive solution that would bring justice and prevent any new war in future. The peace formula proposed by President Zelensky offers such a framework. On its part, the Republic of Moldova will continue to contribute to the efforts aimed at ensuring the accountability through establishing a special tribunal. We also recently joined the Council of Europe Register for damage caused by Russian aggression and signed Hague-Ljubljana Convention. Here at the Human Rights Council, we believe and we highly appreciate the work of the Independent International Commission on Inquiry on Ukraine and support continuation of its work. Mr. Vice President, on the situation in Gaza, first we condemn the horrific attack by Hamas against Israel. Israel's rights of self-defense should be realized in line with the humanitarian law and international human rights law. We support the calls for the immediate humanitarian pause leading to a sustainable ceasefire, release of all hostages held by Hamas and provision of humanitarian assistance. Mr. President, turning to the situation in my own country, let me reiterate our deep concern over the human rights situation in the breakaway Transnistrian region of the Republic of Moldova. What mostly concerns us is that any dissenting voice or any show of opposition by a local activist may result in prison term on extremism charges. There is also criminal liability for those who are daring to seek justice in the international bodies such as European Court for Human Rights. Working together with the OSCE, the EU, we are constantly monitoring the situation of the 8 Latin group schools located in the region, and which we have been subject to constant and various forms of pressure and intimidation throughout the years. In the same vein, we strongly call on the Russian Federation to abide by its international obligations and execute without further delay the European Court of Human Rights judgments in cases originating from the Transnistrian region of Moldova, and pay the just satisfactions awarded by the court. Mr. President, on a more positive note, let me state that the Republic of Moldova is advancing on the path of EU accession and works hard on remaining recommendations which will lead us to starting the accession negotiation soon. Strengthening rule of law, promoting respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms, fighting corruption are fundamental pillars of this process. We are committed to continue implementation of the human rights standards in line with our international commitments across all the relevant public policies. In this regard, in the coming weeks, the government of the Republic of Moldova will adopt the next edition of the National Action Plan on Human Rights for 2024-2027, which will guide the whole government process in this area. To conclude, Mr. Vice President, we heard today the initiatives by the Secretary General Guterres on UN protection agenda and High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, on path for solutions. We are looking forward for meaningful discussion on these initiatives on our path towards the Summit for Future later this year. I thank you very much.